Here we have a 2016 KTM 390 Duke, and so these are known for running hot. So I'm here in Washington in June, and it's only been like in the 50s, and this fan kicks on like all the time. It's super loud, and it still gets near overheating. So we're going to replace the fan itself. We're going to put in some different coolant as engine ice, radiator cap that has a higher like PSI rating, so it'll keep the pressure, keep it better, and then some insulated hoses so the engine heat doesn't heat them up. So first thing we got to do is remove this little plastic shroud here. So these are all 10-meter bolts. There's 6 of them. One of them right here you need a wrench for. The others you can get a ratchet to, and then there's another 4 underneath here. And as you can see, I've got it jacked up just to give me a little extra room and keep it stable. We've got our shroud off, and right here you can see we've got this hose running down. And then right here, this must be the water pump. Right here is this 8-millimeter bolt. That's your drain bolt. So we're going to get our pan underneath and drain this all out. With the cap up here, it'll drain out a lot faster. Release the pressure. Using vice grips and a screwdriver and just removing the old hoses. I just got these clamps I use the vice grips on. Just going to get these 2 off, and then we should be able to start unbolting the actual radiator, which there are 4 mounting bolts that are, I think, 10 mil. Let's see. Yep, 10 mil bolts, all 4 of them. Alright, as you can see, I finally got everything out. These hoses you can pretty much pull out all at once. There's some sort of, I don't really know what this is, to be honest, but it's where all 3 meet, 3 of the 4 hoses. So we can pretty much just take off the old clips. If you have new clips, put them on and put the hoses back together. Here's the radiator fan that I got out. So again, you just remove these 4 10-millimeter nuts, and now there's some more 10-millimeter nuts, 1, 2, 3, that hold this fan in place. And so we're going to take that off and put our new fan on, which is right over here, this SPAL fan. Okay, so 2 things that are different with this fan. So one, I forgot to mention, we unplugged there's one wire right here with this Molex plug. You literally just press on it and pull it off. But so the clip here is different than the clip on the new fan, so we're going to have to cut these wires, leave a little room, and cut these and solder them back together so we get this Molex on this plug so it goes in. The other issue is, so you can see, so here are the mounting bolts, and here's where it goes on. However, on this new fan, one of these for some reason has this little thing. So I'm just going to take a Dremel and Dremel this plastic piece off, because you can't, when it slides over, there's no room to put the nut on. So I'm going to Dremel it off and cut the wires and splice them back together, and then we should be back at it. Reinstall the fan after dremeling and soldering on the new clip. The one thing I'll say is put some Loctite on these bolts and get them pretty tight. And now we're going to start reassembling, just first putting back in the new hoses and then putting the fan in, and then we'll get into flushing it with some distilled water, and bleeding it will be next. Sound that makes accessing this plug a lot easier, because if it's right up here it's really hard. So I didn't realize at first, but this thing, this headlamp control unit, you can slide right out. So originally it fits. So I know it's probably hard for you guys to see, but so it's right up there and it's kind of blocking access, but I just found out you can take that out really easily. And now we're just mounting it back up, putting the hoses back on still. Before we go to bleeding and adding new coolant, first we're going to flush it with distilled water. It takes 1.3 quarts, this system. Same thing with when we add coolant, it's going to be 1.3 quarts, or a bit less than half a gallon. So we're just going to basically put that much in here. We're going to seal it all up, let the engine run till it's warm, and then let it cool down and drain it all, and then we'll put in some actual coolant. So we've drained the water, and now we're going to go on to the refilling and bleeding process. So first, right here we're on the left side of the bike, top of this radiator, there's a bleeder screw. So I'm going right off the book here. So it says loosen this 3 turns. What we're going to do is lean the bike to the right and fill the radiator as much as we can, and then we're gonna, as soon as we see anything bubble out of here, or not bubble but even just leak out of here, we're gonna close this all the way. We're gonna lean the bike back to the left on the kickstand. We're gonna fill up any more that we can in there, put the radiator cap on. We're gonna turn the bike on, let it run till it gets hot, then we're gonna turn it off, let it go all the way cool. At that point we're gonna open the radiator cap again, put in any more that we can, and then come over right here to the overflow, the excess for the coolant once it's completely cool. And you can, I don't know if you guys can see, but it says max right there and min right there. And what we'll do is open this cap right here and then fill up any more that we need to hit that max line, and then we'll be good. It's all pretty much done. I'm just gonna hook it back up, but I wish I documented all the changes from the start. But so before I started this whole project, I tested it once, like from cold at just ambient air temperature, how long it took, and it took about 12 minutes to get up to where the fan first kicked in, and then now I did it again, and it took almost 19 minutes, so quite a bit longer. And then first of all, they also both kick on right at about 200 Celsius. It's been cooling a little now. I don't know if you can see my infrared thermometer. But yeah, and then it also cools faster, so it seems to kick off right around 187, 188 degrees Fahrenheit is when the fan turns off. And so the first fan took like over 3 minutes to do that, and this new fan took like a minute and a half. So definitely an improvement, and I think I'll notice when I ride around town, especially at lower speeds. Yeah, pretty cool.